Oh, we're doing the thing where I have to. Yeah. This is co-pilots. We're back doing the good thing.
With a brand new rap.
It is.
We haven't got a rap.
No, maybe for season 3.
No, definitely not.
But today we're doing science. Sort of. We're talking about shows that understand more science than us.
Really? More science?
More science. We don't understand much science.
Which one would you like to do first?
Oh, shall we go for Stranger Things?
Oh,
Because it's kind of fresh in my mind.
okay. So the whole point of part of the thing we do every week is at the end we'll say, "Oh, will you carry on with this show?" So
I will,
You watched
when
the
season
first
2 comes
episode
out.
of Stranger Things, and what happened then next?
Then I watched the next 7 episodes without really moving. I just sort of sat and just watched them all. And I was just like, this is... Like, it's so good.
I was surprised that I thought you'd already seen it. I didn't know. Like, you sent me a message saying, "Oh, you're gonna love Stranger Things." I've just sat and watched all of them. And I was like, yeah, I watched it back in the summer when it came out.
I don't know. I think I just missed it. I don't know how I missed it.
It's fucking everywhere.
I know. I don't know. It was just one of those... You know those things where you're like, I'll watch that, and then you forget to watch it.
Oh yeah, I have hundreds of those.
Yeah, it's just one of those. I was like, it's on my list. It was actually on the podcast list, so the podcast list is my list of shows to watch. But I think this is the first time that I've ever... Because sometimes I'll sit and watch like 2 or 3 episodes off the bat just to be like, oh, cool, this is a show.
Yeah.
To get more of a feel for like where it goes after the pilot. But this was like, I couldn't stop watching because I just wanted to know what happened next. And then as soon as like I finished the series, I was like, when does season 2 come out? Summer. It's going to be a long few months.
Oh, is it? It's another one coming out this year, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, before we start talking about Series 2, let's talk about the first episode of Series 1. What the hell happens?
There's aliens, I think.
Well,
No, they're not really. It's hard to describe because like it's one of those weird like they've smushed horror and science together in this. Like I've noticed a lot in like the horror shows that the few that we've done. There's very little science and sort of like that sort of reasoning to it, but this has a lot of like sort of fictional science backing it up, but it's more focuses on the science rather than the monsters.
Yeah.
But they start off playing Dungeons and Dragons, which I thought was pretty cool.
Which is always a good start. What's weird is like you see the boys playing Dungeons and Dragons and everything, and it's weirdly nostalgic, and I found it really nostalgic, despite the fact that I have not lived a minute in the 80s when it's set. So I don't know how that works, but I guess it's just universal that while, you know, when I was a kid I didn't play those things or, you know, have exactly the same stuff that they did. We had similar stuff, so I think that's what you know, that affects me a lot. Like nostalgia really, really is something that I've sort of kind of obsessed with in a weird way. And yeah, this really tapped into that nostalgia in the first like couple of scenes where like they're playing, and then they've got to get back home before dark and everything.
And he's got the
and
little...
They've been playing games for 10 hours.
The little... like, Will's little figure is... No, his little, like, player figurine is... I'm pretty sure it's Gandalf. Or painted to look like Gandalf. Because there's a lot of Lord of the Rings references, which I appreciate a lot. And Star Wars references later on.
Yeah. So... the 4 boys are playing Dungeons and Dragons. They decide, right, we got to go home, we got school in the morning.
They don't decide, they were told.
Oh, well, they're told, yeah. By one of their mums or something, aren't they? yeah, Mike's mum. So they all ride home, and then one of them, Will,
It's that sort of
rides
like
along.
you know something's coming because they're slowly
Yeah,
like one of them never leaves the house because that's where he lives, and then they narrowly go down like someone leaves, then someone leaves,
Wait,
then
don't they?
there's one left, and you're like, oh, this kid's fucking dead.
or is he? Yeah, and then he disappears. And that's it.
Yeah, he
He's
sees
vanished.
like the sort of human sort of figure, and then
Humanoid.
yeah.
Should we call it?
That's the one. And then he falls off his bike and he's like, cool, I'm just gonna fucking run.
Cool. Yeah, that's his response. He goes, well, never mind.
And he gets home and no one's there because Winona Ryder's not home yet. And his brother's working like a second job or something. And he's just like, oh, I thought it'd be fine. It wasn't fine, was it? And then he ends up like in the shed with a gun. And it's just like, this is definitely set in America. That doesn't happen in the UK. You get into you'd get into the shed and be like, why am I here? Like, what in here is going to help? Oh, I'm going to teach you how to mow.
Oi, back off. Nothing wrong with teaching someone how to mow.
But in like that fight or flight situation, it's not the sort of thing you want to be aiming for.
I don't know. There's one of the Peter Jackson's early films that happens. There's a guy fends off a horde of zombies with a lawnmower. He just picks it up and he just cuts people up with it.
That's pretty cool. But then, yeah, he
brain dead.
he disappears, and the lights do things when the aliens are around. They're not aliens though.
Yeah.
They're interdimensional travelers.
Oh, is that what they're described as?
I don't know.
No.
No,
Say they. You only ever see one, don't you?
I think you can assume that more would exist.
Yeah. So so the show then goes on, like the rest of the series is how various people try to find Will. So the boys have got their own sort of plans of what they need to do, and his brother tries to, and his mum starts going mad. It seems to be going mad, but is actually well onto something.
What, like
But
when
that
she
thing with the
does like
lights-
the light Ouija board thing?
Yeah, that was incredible. It was amazing.
Yeah, there's so much of this. What I like is that they're all trying to find him, but no one talks to each other.
Yeah.
Until they get to like the end, and then they're just like, oh, we're all trying to do the same thing. Should we just be friends?
And I like how no one goes, do you think it's got anything to do with that super creepy science laboratory up the road?
Nah, it's probably fine.
Yeah, is it the pilot? Because I haven't rewatched it for this, but it's not this one where Barbara is at the party in the swimming pool, is it? That's
in like episode 4 or something.
Okay.
But you meet Nancy, which is weird because I spent ages convinced that she was the same person who plays Fiona in the American version of Shameless, because they look quite similar. And I was just like, it's not the same. It's not the same person, but it looks like the same person. But it's not. But you don't really see that much of her in the trailer.
No, she's
Not the trailer,
really,
the pilot.
the pilot. Yeah, she's not really. Doesn't she just? She's with the group of. She's with Steve, isn't she? And they have an interaction with Jonathan. Like Steve is like being a bit of a dick to him.
Not in that episode, no.
It's not that episode. I'm doing really well.
Yeah,
aren't I?
you only see her like in passing. In like the family sort of scenes, I think.
Fabulous hair though, Steve has.
Yeah. Interestingly, the baby, Mike's baby sister, is the same kid that played Judith in Walking Dead.
What? Really?
Yeah. But like baby Judith, not
That's like
semi-grown Judith now.
that's really weird. Isn't that weird? That like that kid has had 2 acting jobs on 2 huge shows.
And we haven't had any.
Can't even talk. Well, no, that's fine because I haven't actively tried to get in any TV shows.
Yeah, and apparently some of like her reactions in like some of the scenes later on are just her being a kid. It's just like where there's like a scene where there's something sort of creepy going on. She like slides down in her chair. Just wasn't asked to do that. Just did it.
I got a lot of time for that.
But I was reading something about I can't remember the director.
The brothers, the Duffer.
Yeah.
Is it Duffer?
One of them was talking about how like good the kid actors were, because like they were really good throughout the show. But how like he had problems that he doesn't normally come across. Like apparently one day the kid that plays L turned up and was just like covered in glitter and was just like, I don't know where it came from. And just held up shooting for like an hour by just turning up covered in glitter, as kids do.
It's not something you take into account as a director of a show, I imagine.
Yeah, you don't often go, oh, I better make sure we start early because the kids are going to be covered in fucking glitter again.
That's brilliant. I really like that. Yeah. Did you because some of the kids they were interviewed on Radio 1, and I think they just did the rounds. Like I think they did a thing on IGN as well. And Jesus Christ, I mean, not to be horrible to a kid, but that girl who plays 11 is a dick.
Why?
She's properly precocious and just Jesus. It just annoyed me really.
Well, it's not hard. But I suppose we should probably mention how Elle comes into the story, because...
Oh yeah, there's that.
Because she, like, escapes from Hawkins. You don't really hear about it that much. I'm just assuming that's what happened, otherwise... Because, yeah, you don't see her escape. She just turns up in, like, a diner.
Isn't she... No, sorry, I'm confusing what actually happened with what my own little theory of it was at the time that I watched it. So, I can't remember. Yeah, she just wanders into the burger place, doesn't she?
Yeah, and just, like, goes and just, like, sneaks through, steals some food. The guy, Benny, just is not down for people stealing from him. So chases her and then catches her, and he's like, wait, you're just a short, bald girl. Why are you here? And then calls social services. As you would. Feeds her, calls social services. Finds out her name's 11. Which is a strange choice of name. And then the social worker turns up and shoots Benny in the head.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit. Well, you see, she stops that fan.
Yeah, so you see, you get like a hint
She
at
has
the
sort of
powers.
telekinetic powers, which is cool.
And then, the woman turns up, shoots Benny in the head, and that's. And then they meet Will. And his friends later on.
Well, that's when they're out. They go out. The boys go out looking for Will, don't they?
Yeah, down Mirkwood.
Go on, just gone down the order of Mirkwood. We look for some elves and see if we can find our friend.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't die. I think it's in the pilot where you see Joyce get the call from Will. Like, you know, the weird distorted one where it blows up the phone.
Yeah, she says that she can hear him breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the phone goes.
Yeah. Which leads on to, like, possibly my favourite recurring thing, which is her going to the shop and buying a new phone every time. I think it happens, like, 3 or 4 times. Might only be 3. But she has to go and get a new phone. And every time she gets progressively more high-tech phones.
You'd think you'd go the other way, wouldn't you? Just go cheaper, because if they're gonna break, just save yourself a bit of cash. Would you like a special co-pilot's fact file?
Yes.
This is just one little fact of what's her name, Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11. She doesn't like pizza, hamburgers, fries, or strawberry ice cream. That's it. That's all I'm giving you. I've got other facts, but that's all I'm giving you.
Oh.
I like her even less now to find that she doesn't like pizza, because anyone who doesn't like pizza can get fucked.
Do you want an interesting fact? Sean Astin is joining the cast for season 2.
I just read that.
The Lord of the Rings heavy, like lots of Lord of the Rings references, is getting a Lord of the Rings cast member. But it'll be set in a time before Lord of the Rings was a film.
How weird that must be. And how many times is he going to look down at his... and just go, oh, my feet are a bit big and they need plucking. He's trying to help someone up some stairs or something. It's like, I can't carry this for you, mister. Just picks him up with it.
But yeah, what I really liked is the whole... over the whole show, it really felt like Silent Hill. Like the whole upside down stuff.
Is that the plot of Silent Hill? I've not played Silent Hill.
Sort of. It's similar. It's like a sort of parallelly alternate dimension that's a bit sort of not happy. And it's just thematically, like, it looked a lot like Silent Hill to me. Because like with the whole how different the two worlds look. But you don't see that in the pilot, so fuck it.
Don't even know the upside down's a thing, do you?
No. But that's the thing, like, it just... Like, at that point when they met her in the woods, I was like, well, what happens next? I'll just keep watching, it'll be fine. And 8 hours later, I was like, cool, I've finished this.
Did you come up with any sort of ideas of what you thought was going on as you were watching it then?
Sort of. As, like, it was going through, I was, like, more and more convinced that it was all her fault.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Like, the whole gateways and stuff opening was pretty much entirely down to, like, maybe not her specifically, but the way she was being pushed to, like, further push her powers to... Because I think her powers somehow, like, come from that other place.
The upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking about it as I was watching it. It's very Lovecraft. Just sort of going back to your Silent Hill thing. It's very Lovecraftian. The whole, the upside down. Like, there's sort of the uncanny, like in the familiar you find, which is a Freudian idea. Like you find, it's something that's familiar, but something's wrong with it. So you get that weird feeling.
Yeah.
Unheimlich is what Freud called it, which means unhomely. But but like the whole when they do eventually find Will and he's plugged into that thing, he's got the weird sort of almost umbilical cord on it over his mouth, like that sort of thing. That was very sort of.
It's that bit sort of reminded me of the Matrix, like that sort of bit. Yeah. Yeah,
but I was utterly convinced watching the whole thing, like as I was doing it, I was absolutely convinced, and it's still not been disproven, that Will and Elle, to make this point we were saying, are one and the same person. She's sort of like the negative Will, like the upside down version of Will. Perhaps that's why they're never seen together, because he disappears and Elle appears, and then when Will comes back, Elle disappears again.
Oh yeah. Wow. But like there is so
like Will, Elle, they're not. I know it's a
that's a reach. That last one's a reach.
Yeah, but it's like my whole Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen thing. Like she's always wearing white, he's always wearing black. It's like two sides of the same coin, sort of thing. Just as a visual sort of metaphor. But yeah, that was what I thought.
Yeah, no, there's so. I think there's a lot you can read into, but to go back away from the reading into things stuff, I really like the opening credits. I really like
Yes.
that whole opening sequence. The very
The really slow sort of that Stephen
that like
King
80s, like really sort of it felt very right for the
VHS.
time period. Yeah.
Completely, absolutely brilliant. Actually, I saw Stephen King. Well, when it was on last year, he tweeted saying, "Wow, Stranger Things runs like Stephen King's greatest hits," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's fair." I think there's a lot of Stephen King in Stranger Things.
There's
But
a lot
yeah,
of
no,
reference to it as well.
the titles they are good, aren't they? And that just sort of that throbbing soundtrack. Yeah, I did really like it. What did annoy me is that
There's only
Well,
8
I-
episodes.
not that, but while I really liked it, it was just everyone was so evangelical about it. Like, oh, it's the greatest show on TV. I was like, well,
It's not on
I think-
TV. It's a
You know
streaming
what I
thing.
mean? The
Yeah, I know
best
what you mean.
TV show, and I was like, well, why can't it just be good? Why does everything have to be absolutely the worst thing you've ever seen, or completely the best thing?
Because Entourage exists. So we know there is a bottom. There is a minimum of what we expect a TV show to be, and it is better than Entourage.
Stop reminding me that thing exists.
But no, it's really good. Like, really good. Like, I don't often watch 8 episodes in one sitting. I don't even watch the Marvel shows in one
You've
sitting.
done it loads of times. No, I think I've only ever done that once. Oh no, I did that with Breaking Bad, series 2 of Breaking Bad. I literally sat up all night. I'm sure I've mentioned it, like probably in the very first episode of this, that I just sat up and watched the whole thing. And then when we were living in our house in third year, your second year, me and Lisa watched American Horror Story pretty much in one sitting. We did it like, I think there's 13 episodes. We did 10 in one sitting, and then the next 3 like the next day because we just need to go to sleep or something.
Yeah.
So I've only.
But I mean, what I like is that sometimes these shorter runs more lend themselves to doing that. Because by the end of 8 episodes, I was getting a bit sort of. I was fagging. I was like, I hope there aren't any more episodes after this. Because I didn't. I wanted to know the end of the story, but I also didn't want to fall asleep while watching it. Because I felt like if I fell asleep, I might have nightmares. Because there were some moments I'm not. Probably partly like tiredness, but like there are a couple of moments in this that are like quite good jump scares. But only like a couple. But I can't remember exactly what they were.
No, I'm sure it's probably the monster jumping out.
But it does quite a good job of like not overhyping the monster. You know how sometimes they do that, where they sort of go like they show too much monster, like too early on. You're like, okay, cool. So they just need to get good and beat that. But in this, they're like you don't see it properly until like 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah, because the trouble, like, a lot of bad horror movies is that if you only show bits of the monster, it's still scary. But as soon as you show it, it's a guy in a rubber suit. It's a guy in a rubber suit, and it's really not scary.
Yeah, I did quite like the whole "there's only sort of one monster" thing. That was quite cool.
But
I think there's the implication. The implication is that there's more.
Yeah, I do quite like how
But
it's sort of
there's only one
open
that you
it.
ever find.
Yeah, it sort of the show lends itself to having like because there's this whole other world of Upside Down. It makes you think, well, if that's only one small aspect of that world that we've seen, what else is lurking in the depths of the unknown? Yeah.
Vampires.
Yeah.
I bet it's fucking vampires.
So yeah,
We've both watched the whole thing. I don't think.
I was gonna say, are you gonna watch it? Well, are you gonna watch it all again tonight in one go?
No, it would be. I don't know if I could watch it all again because it won't have the same impact the second time round.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure I'll watch it again. I don't think I will. I liked it, but I don't think I'll watch it. I'll watch series 2
Oh yeah, like series 2 is going to be a one sitting as well. I think.
when it comes out. Oh, we should do something for that. Maybe like we should meet up. We'll arrange that off
Off air.
Let's talk about the orphan that is black.
Yes. Now, like,
Right, you know a lot more about this than me, and I would ask you to please don't spoil much, because I'm going to spoil my own thing. I'm probably going to carry on with this because it's really fucking good.
yeah. Okay.
How far in it am I? Were you about to ask?
No, I was going to ask.
Probably just the one.
What do you know? To give me some sort of baseline on what I can actually tell you.
Basically, in the pilot of Orphan Black, there is a girl who I thought was called Sam for about half the episode, and then someone said Sarah. I was like, who the fuck? Oh, okay, I misheard. Sarah is on a train, and she gets off the train, and she wants to go see her daughter. She sees a woman who's looking a little bit upset, who takes her jacket and shoes off and leaves a handbag on the floor.
I don't think that's the bit that she notices first.
Well, no, but that would be a weird thing. It's like, okay, so why is someone just taking her shoes? And then she jumps in front of the train. So, but crucially before that,
she notices they're identical.
Yeah, that's the one. They look like the same person, and then she jumps in front of the train. So she's like, "Oh shit, this is not nice." But then she goes, "I'm having that bag and those shoes." Yeah. She meets up with her mate Felix. Oh yeah, the foster brother, isn't he? And it's revealed that she's running away from an abusive boyfriend. And she then just takes the identity of Elizabeth, the woman who killed herself at the train station, and it follows the complications and consequences of that decision.
It's really good. Felix is one of my favourite characters.
Yeah, I really like him. He's really funny. Like when Vic comes to the door and he just opens the door and slaps him. It's the funniest fucking thing. And it's Vars, isn't it? That bloke was Vars from Far Cry 3.
Oh, what, the guy who plays Victor?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Really?
No. I thought I recognised him, but...
Yeah, it's a matey from Far Cry 3. But yeah, so basically it's the rest of the episode consists of a lot of situations where people assume that she's Elizabeth, because obviously they're identical. And it's like, right, come here, we're going to do this now. And she's just got no idea what's going on.
Yeah, because it turns out that Beth is a police officer.
Who has killed a civilian.
Yes.
So she has to go to this hearing where she, in a panic, she drinks a bottle of soap, which was disgusting to watch, to throw up to get out of it.
Yeah, and you meet Kaya at the end.
At the very end, another doppelganger turns up called Katya.
Who very quickly gets shot in the head.
In the face. Yeah, so clearly something's going on.
4 seasons or something.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on sort of, this sort of thing, like cyclical narratives, that sort of thing, I kind of have an idea of how the whole thing, or at least the first series, ends. So, I don't know.
Maybe.
I might be wrong. It depends whether or not time travel becomes a thing as well.
No, not as far as I can remember.
Okay, well, I have questions. Questions that need answering. But yeah, so and from what I gather, there's a lot of characters that this one actress plays at the same time. So I'm guessing the whole show just, explores different people who look like this Orphan Black.
Yep. And like the differences. I think a lot of it is like sort of exploring like the nature versus nurture thing. I think a lot of stuff gets explored through that as well.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a bit harder for me to, comment on something like that because you've seen all of it.
Oh, but the most recent episode. I haven't watched the end of season 4.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it starts off quite sort of small with like a really small group of
clones.
I wasn't gonna say clones because I didn't know if you'd clocked that.
Well, no. I just sort of, it was, clones, doppelgangers, identical quintillions or whatever. So I'm guessing they're clones.
No. Well, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, well, there's still so many it's obvious that there's something in there, isn't it? That
Yeah.
it's not just you happen to see a lot of people that look like you. It's obviously for a reason.
A lot of it is like the characters trying to figure out like. There's a lot of like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
that comes up a lot.
Some of the characters know more than others. I'm guessing. Well, that Cartier woman, she seemed to. Well, either that or she was trying to say,
Interestingly, one of the people who knew the most is Beth, but she jumped in front of a train. So
yeah, I figured that's she's probably done that for a reason. Maybe, or either it is for the reason that it's explored in the episode that just she couldn't deal with having killed a civilian, or I'm thinking, well, perhaps she knew a bit more than
maybe she knew too much.
Maybe she knew too much and decided this is too much. That train looks like it'll make a nice hat, and jumped in front of it.
Yeah, don't have to worry about that anymore.
I really like Sarah as a character because she just turns up in a bar with her mate. Her foster brother. It's just like, oh, here's a massive bag of coke. Go and make some money with this. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, a lot of what she does, she's I think she's a con artist.
Yeah.
So, what's weird is that she's British and a lot of the other characters are American.
Yeah, that did sort of her accent sort of threw me a little bit at the start
because it's kind of Australian.
A hint of Australian in there. But I don't really.
I don't know if Americans can tell the difference. Actually, no. This was originally like a BBC Three or BBC America show.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like sort of.
Apparently it's Canadian. Apparently.
Oh, is it? There's a lot of New England accents that sound sort of Australian. Like, I saw Stephen Fry do a documentary about it, and he commented on that very thing. So your accent sounds Antipodean, like almost Australian.
But yeah, so she's a con artist. So she. I don't know if she does it in the first episode, but she kind of gets into like the Beth character.
Yeah, that's the first episode. So she goes and like,
which is weird. It's
75.
She's playing someone pretending to be a character that she played. It's all very confusing.
It is, but I like confusing, like the sort of the whole mystery element of it and that complication. I really like that.
Interestingly, the more questions they answer, the more questions they leave for you. So they go like, we've answered this, but now
you're wondering why this is. Yeah. The more you know you don't know.
Yeah, and they're like 10 episodes a season. It's a good amount.
Oh, is that? That's like I've said. I'm not a fan of like 20 episode series. That's a decent amount. So roughly how many characters are there? Then, doppelgangers, clones, twins, buddies, splunkins, slabbins.
There are
whatever.
Sort of like 3 main ones, and then 4 main ones, and then more off of that are smaller parts to a bigger story.
Okay. Does it ever like lose its way? Because I feel like a show like this could get very silly. Or is it still quite?
Some of it gets a bit sort of like what? But then like they sort of explain a bit more, and you're like, okay, sort of makes sense.
Okay. But I feel like a show like this, if this ran and went for like, because I know they had what's her chops? The girl who plays Sarah, and all of the characters in it. She was on Radio 1 like last year, like in the summer, and they were talking about the final series. So
yeah, season 5 is going to be the final series.
Oh, series 5. Okay, so they got one more series. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought if a show like this would run, it would just get ridiculous. But yeah, no.
We'd run out of different ways to have reasons for people not to be clones anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. like good sci-fi is all about ideas. So, and it's those ideas that you ask yourself. So I was watching this thinking, oh, do these clones have proper human rights? Are they count as separate people? I was like, well, yeah, of course they are, but even if genetically they're identical, so yeah, I didn't make the only notes I sort of made were sort of just plot ones to keep me up to speed on what exactly was going on. So I don't really have any amazing insights or anything.
It's because
like
it's
that.
quite
It's
like
just it does it. You know, it speaks for itself. I think.
yeah, no, it's what I think I saw the first episode, it was airing on like BBC Three when that was still a
That's
TV
when
channel.
when we could still watch that in the lounge.
And I was just like, this is so good. And like I watched it once a week. And then sort of forgot about it until the next season came out and went, oh yeah. And then got into it, like, and it's so I've recommended this to a lot of people. Like, including yourself, but you ignored me until I made sure it was on this fucking list of shows to watch. Because that's what I'm using this list for. I'm using it as a way to convince you to watch TV shows that I like.
It's working. Because yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's a good job that Fallout 3 is not on this list though.
Wow. If they make a TV show of it, it's going on the list.
They did. It was called Revolution.
Hmm.
Ayo.
And you liked that?
That's true. I did, but then I didn't have to glitch my way up hills and run backwards shooting at crabs. So swings and roundabouts.
I'm scrolling through, just reading like the synopsis for each episode, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Because like it gets more and more complicated,
which is fine.
Like, it seems like at the end of each season they sort of resolve one small part of the problem and go, well, that's mission complete, and then they just go, oh fuck.
That's exactly what you want, isn't
Something else. Yeah. So like each, like, it's what I like is it's got one overarching story, which is like, why? It's just one overarching story. It's just that question.
Yeah.
But then each season and some episodes within that have their own sort of smaller stories, and then you get different doppelgangers, not clones, having their own like little more personal stories that affect other characters, and it's really cool. And then you see like different doppelgangers interacting with doppelactors. No, it's just one actor interacting like with another clone's like their set of characters, and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of like really sort of quite funny stuff that happens, and some quite dark stuff. It's very good. You should watch more of it. Like, just fuck off and just do it now. We don't care about the rest of it. We'll just listen. We'll just sit. We'll just record We'll just record 10 hours of you watching it. Sound good?
Every hour, just no way.
Yeah. And just me on the other end, just going, "What fucking happened? Was it good?"
Yeah. No,
I'm glad you liked it. I was sort of, as always, like when I like pick a show like that I really like. There's always a worry that you're just not going to like it.
Well, it doesn't really matter if I don't like it. We can like different stuff, like Fallout 3 and Dead Space, but you know, that's fine.
I was thinking about playing Dead Space, and then I remembered that I don't like it.
It's really good. I'm one achievement away from getting all the achievements, and I can't be bothered because the achievement I haven't got is complete it on the hardest difficulty, and fuck that for a game of soldiers.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of done on the subject of Orphan Black. I don't know much about it. I know literally only what I know from the pilot, but I'm probably going to watch more of it. I'm going to try and get Lisa into it as well because I think it's brilliant.
I think she'll like it because it's cool.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's great. I think it's really, really well written, and I hope it all pans out and isn't just a bullshit ending.
Me too.
Like, you know, crap explanations for stuff. But I get the feeling it's not. It feels quite well considered.
Yeah, there's some. I think there's some like weird sort of. There is some like weird science in it, but it's not too sort of like out there. It's not like superhero science. It's
Yeah.
like we can actually clone people
Science.
science. Yeah, pseudoscience. My favorite kind of science. But yeah, I think like both these shows are really good. And I'm going to continue watching whatever I haven't already seen of them.
Series. So the last episode of series 4 of Orphan Black, and then that's it until the rest of it come out.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's weird because Orphan Black now is on Netflix, but it still releases weekly when it's airing. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. Which is why I missed that last episode, because I was watching them weekly, and then I think I moved and didn't have internet, and then just forgot, and keep remembering, and then I'm like, I'll do that, and then I watched, because what I was planning on doing was watching Stranger Things, like the first episode of Stranger Things, and then finishing Orphan Black, but then I got a little bit
carried away,
distracted, yeah, carried away. But no, they're both really good shows. So everyone should watch them and enjoy them.
Yeah, and if not, then you're.
And if not, you're dead to us. So.
What are we doing next? What's the next one we're
Oh
doing?
shit.
I got you. We're doing Sense8 and Luke Cage. Sense8, is that the Wachowski thing?
Maybe.
You're listening to someone googling something. Hang on.
Yes, it is.
Cool. The Wachowskis, as we have to call them now. We cannot call them the Wachowski brothers because they are now. Actually, they're both transgender, so maybe Wachowski sisters? I don't know. But the Wachowskis anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's based on a comic, I think, or it's just superpowers. I don't know. But yeah, it looks interesting. It should be a good pairing with Luke Cage.
I haven't actually watched Luke Cage. The Netflix Marvel shows. I've finished the first series of Daredevil, and that's it.
You haven't even watched Jessica Jones?
No, well, half of, and then I gave up.
Oh, but the back end of Jessica Jones is really good.
Maybe I will watch it then. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm looking forward to the Defenders and Iron Fist.
Iron Fist I'm looking forward to because I like Iron Fist. He's cool.
But yeah, so that's next time.
So we've got Sense Luke next.
He is.
Because he's the last Jedi.
Topical, I like it.
And that also dates this.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's enough. We're just sort of rambling now, aren't we?
Well, enough's enough. Yeah, see you later then.
Bye.
Goodbye.